And then obviously the people that are out here in the suburbs and they're looking to expand, they at least can know as well too, kind of some of the insight that we shared today.
Yep. I didn't ask you during the episode, what was probably one of the biggest mistakes you guys made at GC moving into a new village?
I think we've made mistakes that were just stupid, where it's just like, I talked in the episode about the Sauk Village one, where it's like, we could not get the work done and get back inspected in 30 days, like 3 times. Now, it was a client that we ended up paying for, and we had the tenant in there, so it didn't really cost me any money. It cost us money. But it's just the guy, like, basically, like, the inspector's like, you guys are idiots. It's like, we are, and we're not going to manage anything more in your town probably either.
And it's different from suburb to suburb. And it's probably not super complicated, but a little confusing for someone who hasn't done it before. So, let's start there. Just at a high level, like, what are some of the things that an investor needs to be looking at when they're going to a suburb that they've never invested in or never had a rental in?
Nowadays, you may just talk about property management being a reactive versus preventative. And nowadays, as an organization, GC Realties, we're trying to be as preventative as we can versus like all of a sudden Tuesday morning, you got a big fine that you got to argue with the city about because you've been trying to fly on the radar for 6 years. Like that's the last thing we want anymore. And so we're very above board these days.
Let's dive into some of these, right? So let's say, we're in Roselle here, Schaumburg's right next door. You guys do a lot there. If I'm investing in Schaumburg, what are some of the things that I need to consider, whether it be point of sale, annual inspection, fees, et cetera?
So it just takes a layer of complexity off of having to manage that particular unit. But answer your question, a place like Schaumburg, Schaumburg, this is the crazy part that you already referenced to. Every town it's just a little different. So Schaumburg, they require the annual licensing fee, but they split this up between attached and single family homes. So condos, townhouses, they require you to pay the fee, but they don't do an inspection. But for single family homes, they do require you to pay the fee, which I think it's even a tiered fee I think it's a little more for single family homes. Yeah, like a place like Hanover and Addison, they're strict on that. Like they do not even want to see the place on the market until they've walked through and inspected it. And you could maybe skirt that and at least have it on the market, but you definitely cannot be letting people move in. Otherwise, they will read you the riot act and leverage all their power they have.
So I can't remember was there a point of sale, but let's talk about point of sale in the different villages, because that's another one that I feel buyers, even if you're buying as is, it's like, well, hold on, you might be taking on, your scope is going to be larger than you think, because the city's going to make you do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. So my big thing around point of sale inspections, and these are getting more and more popular as well too,